Hi everyone. So I actually had a different video in mind for today's episode, but I figured I'd do something different. So this video is inspired by an article that I read recently that was texted to me by my friend Mike. So this article was from NBC News, and the article talked about the experiences of therapists like me and other mental health providers during the pandemic, and what has it been like for them and the effect of the pandemic on them, or in this case, on us. And the article really resonated with me. I really can relate to the experiences of the therapists that were featured on that article. So I figured for today's video, I share with all of you what has it really been like for me as a therapist working during the pandemic. I was actually a little hesitant to do this because I had this vision that by doing this I have to, I guess, be vulnerable, be open, like pour my heart out. But I think that's good. Being vulnerable, that's, for a lot of people, myself included, is uncomfortable. But I think it'll be good. I think that's why I decided to do the videos, because I believe that this will be very helpful, not just for me, but also for all of you, especially my fellow therapists. And typically when I do a video, I have things planned, I have an outline, maybe a script. Not today. I got rid of all of that, and I decided to speak from the heart. Alright? Speak from the heart. So that's what I'm gonna do today. A lot of people have asked me in the last few months since the pandemic started, since we all got shut down, locked down, and quarantined, how I've been doing. And most of the time I would always say things like, I'm doing well, I'm very grateful that I'm able to do my job at home, I'm able to see my clients, that I'm earning an income, things like that. And those are all true. I'm very grateful to be working, to be helping my clients, and to have an income, because it's really challenging out there. And I try to put this positive face, aura, whatever you want to call it. But the article that I read, it really made me, it almost forced me to really reflect on that question of how I am. How is Lloyd? Not just as a therapist, but as a person. How am I feeling? How am I doing? So I really had to think and be honest with myself. And truth be told, I'd like to say that I'm 100% great, but in reality, not really. At least not every day. I definitely have my good days, but since the whole pandemic started, I definitely had not so good days. 2 weeks ago, I started to feel chest pains, and it got so bad that I decided to go to urgent care. And I explained my symptoms, and the doctor had me do an EKG, and we got the results. Thank God, everything is normal, nothing very concerning. So he said that most likely it's just stress or anxiety. And I said to myself, alright, well, thank God it's not anything heart related, because I come from a family with a history of heart disease. So what am I really stressed about? If that's the case, what am I stressed about? What am I anxious about? And to be quite honest, it's just, and I look back at the last 3 months since everything started, and I have to say, and I really have to be honest with myself that it's been challenging. It was definitely been overwhelming, especially in the last 2-3 weeks since all the protests started after the death of George Floyd. I'm a news junkie, so I read the news, I watch the news every single day from different news sites, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. So and I'm sure you can relate to this. It's everywhere. So I think that because of that, I think it just got really overwhelming for me to be listening to the news, reading the news, reading people's comments. As you know, this country is very polarized right now, so reading a lot of comments, very nasty, rude, disrespectful, scary. I see videos of people experiencing racism, and as an Asian American, I've seen videos of my fellow Asian Americans experiencing racism, and oh my God, my blood boils. So not only that, but also primarily with my work. I have in my private practice, I have around 40 clients, and to be able to listen to their problems, to what they have to say every week, and for me to be listening and hearing stories every single day, Monday to Friday. They talk a lot about how anxious they feel, how depressed they feel, how scared they feel because of the pandemic. I have clients who lost their jobs. I have clients who are feeling alone, very uncertain of their future. So when I think about that and I hear this every single day, and my fellow therapists, I'm sure you can relate to this, it can take a toll. And then, so we have that, my work. And by the way, I also wear many hats. I have a private practice, but I also have a group practice. So I have a business that I run. I'm a one-man show right now. In terms of billing, accounting, emails, and all that. I do have 2 therapists that I'm trying to give cases to. But for right now, it's just really mostly on me. So I have my set of clients, my work as a business owner, and then I'm a therapist for Talkspace. So it's a therapy app. So I have 8 clients there, and I read their messages, and I have a few clients that are quite intense. So all that, for me to hear, to read, to see every single day, it's just can be a lot. And then in the last few weeks, I've also had to help some friends who are going through tough times, and that also takes a toll, and to me to say that right now, I actually feel bad saying that, because I love my friends, I love helping my friends, but it was a lot, it was a lot. So I think all of this, I think it really got to a point where, and I think the chest pains was like the last straw that really made me realize this is tough. I'm overwhelmed. I'm tired. I'm not fine. But again, I have my good days, but I also have not so good days, and I have to be honest with myself about that. And it's okay. It's okay to not be okay. I say this a lot to my clients, and I'm sure my fellow therapists can relate to this. It's okay to not be okay. And as a person who is in the helping profession, I always want to portray, strength and courage and positivity. So I always have that in my mind, that I have to be that person. Because I have to be, if I want to be helpful to to my clients, to my friends, to my family. But man, sometimes it's just really hard. It's really hard. So what to do? Well, first, like I said, to be able to acknowledge that it's okay not to be okay. And then I was telling myself, Lloyd, it's really time to practice what you preach. You know, I always tell my clients, you know, and my friends as well. If you're feeling overwhelmed, feeling anxious, give yourself a break. If you can. I know for some people that's really difficult. Be kind to yourself. Practice self-care. I mean, I'm a big proponent of self-care. And that could look different. That could mean different things for different people. To me, and I think that's important, for me to be able to help people, I have to help myself. I have to take care of myself. So, self-care, that also means being able to disconnect. Be away from overwhelming things like watching the news every day, reading the news, reading different posts on Facebook, and watching different videos on YouTube. All that, I had to really make a conscious effort to decrease. I don't think I can totally eliminate doing all those, but at least decrease. All right, to start to disconnect. I'm also planning a small trip in a few weeks. Away from the city, away from my desk, where it's so easy, and I'm sure you can relate, for people that are working from home, it's so hard to keep boundaries because everything is here, everything is at home. So it's hard to disconnect from work when your laptop, in my case, my laptop is right over there. So I have to step back and disconnect. So I'll be away for a few days, a long weekend in a few weeks, alone by myself in an Airbnb and near a nature trail, a hiking trail. And that's where I always find peace and calm, is in nature. That's always been my go-to, is to be with nature. And that's what I plan to do. And with everything else, you know, I make sure I take my walks every day. You know, when I have a break during sessions, make sure I eat, make sure I get enough sleep, and just do things that I enjoy, you know, hobbies, interests, and not just focus so much on work. And trust me, it can be really hard. So I've really taken it upon myself to make sure that I make time for these self-care activities, because like I said, I have to help myself and take care of myself if I want to do my job, to help people. You know, not just in my role as a therapist, but also, you know, beyond being a therapist. You know. So that's what I want to convey to all of you. You know, I know we are in hard times. This is very difficult. This is very challenging, and I can totally relate to what you're all going through. It may not be the exact same thing. I'm sure we're not experiencing the same things, but in the essence of it, this has really been tough times. So I understand. You know. And again, like I said, it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to be scared. It's okay to be anxious. It's okay to be depressed. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be upset. You know, it's okay to be angry. Those are human emotions. It's okay to feel them. No one should ever tell you, oh, you know, don't feel bad. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you've heard those things before. That's pretty dismissive. It's okay, feel whatever you want to feel, but then make sure that you are able to do something about it. Making sure that we can realize for ourselves what are the things we can control. Because right now there's a lot of things we have no control over. Okay? We don't know when this pandemic will be over. You know, all the protests and what's happening in Washington, and our politicians and our government. That's so much. but we can do things that we have control over, and that's what we need to figure out, and that's what we need to do. But for all of this, we have to take care of ourselves, and that's what I'm learning. That's what I will continue to learn, is to take care of myself, to be good to myself, to be kind to myself. And that's my message to all of you. Right? And that we are all in this together. Okay? Things will get better. May not look like right now. It may not feel like that. It may seem like things are getting worse, but it will get better. But we have to protect ourselves, to take care of ourselves, but also help each other out in the process. So on that note, I really want to thank everyone who's been very supportive of me during this time. My family has been a big anchor, a big support for me. My friends that I talk to and I hang out with, you guys have been the best. So thank you for checking in on me. I appreciate that. And please do the same thing for your friends, to your family members, all of you who's watching this video. Check in on your friends, check in on your family members. See how they're doing. Alright? So thank you for listening. Thank you for watching this video. And I hope that you've learned something, and I hope that you take what you've learned from this video to your own lives. And remember, we are in this together. Alright? And if you have any questions, any comments, make sure you put that down in the comment section. Reach out to me. Alright? And yeah. Well, thanks for listening again. Thanks for watching. And I hope to see you all on my next video. Alright? And as I always say at the end of all my videos, I hope that you all have a happy mental health day. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye.